Well, I think the original objective of the West Kowloon project was that it would be developed primarily by government, and the government would raise some funds by selling land off to private developers, and there might be one or two venues that would be developed in partnership with the private sector. But clearly this is a very complex project. It's taken longer to put together than expected, and it's not surprising really that there have been cost overruns. When Colliers advised on similar projects like this, particularly in Europe and North America, there's been a much higher level of involvement of the private sector in the individual venues. This can be done partly by increasing the commercial or other revenue-making components. So, for example, if you build a theatre, you can have restaurants, shops and things like that are within the theatre package. So a private sector developer can build the whole thing. And you could also hand over the operation of some of these things to private companies as well. And we believe that if more is done in partnership with the private sector, this might well go some way towards ameliorating some of the additional costs shortfall that we have at the moment. PPP is very popular in the Middle East and Europe as well, where the government basically provides the land and the private sector develops the venue and then runs it, and this has been used very successfully for sports stadiums and other revenue producing assets in Europe. So this is a sort of model that the West Kowloon Cultural Development Authority should be looking at, in my opinion, if they're going to go forward from here. Well, it's very unlikely in the current political environment that more funds will be available from government. Therefore, it'll have to be packaged up to be more attractive to the private sector. You do get people that sponsor these things, but I think it's fair to say that most people that do projects like this want them to be revenue producing. And since this has been done so successfully in other parts of the world, there's no reason why we can't apply the same model in Hong Kong. Hong Kong is very used to working with the private sector. We have a very enterprising spirit here, and I think we could come up with a very exciting project if we had more involvement, not just from Hong Kong developers, but maybe people from overseas who've done these projects before, know how they work, and are very culturally sympathetic in that it doesn't just become a property project with a cultural venue stuck on the back of it. It's still very much a cultural project, but it has all these other components that support it.